5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. He's brought to you by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler, the bye week edition.
Yes.
Boy, I wasn't sure whether that was going to happen, whether they were going to get the bye, and then once they had it, they were this close to getting the number 1 bye.
Yes.
Were you watching that game, the San Francisco-Seattle game?
Well, I'm a big Russell Wilson fan anyway, but they came close. I mean, they had a rough start, though. I mean, with Marshawn Lynch coming back and all that. Next thing you know, San Francisco was up for a while. I said, well, sooner or later they'll get it kicked in and hopefully they can win. But I was pulling hard. Wouldn't it be that kind of poetic justice for 2 things? For Mason Crosby kicking a winning kick in Detroit. That was awesome. And then to cap, to really cap a great season after some up and down games, maybe some games you should have won, some games you probably should have lost, vice versa. To have a number 1 overall would have been amazing season.
Yeah, it would have been remarkable. It's remarkable anyway. That
it really is.
3.
It really is.
I certainly didn't predict that, and I also didn't predict that they would almost lose in Detroit, because it sure looked like they were going to lose. They were going to be New England to Miami there with so much on the line, and they can thank a rookie quarterback and Mason Crosby for getting ahead.
It's something about Detroit, though, for some reason. Because I remember them being down 13-0 at home, but no one panicked because they said sooner or later that they're going to win the game. And that's the good thing about having a good team going into the playoff that doesn't panic. But I will say this. I think most people wanted the Packers to do what the Saints did. Go to Carolina and just destroy them to just show the magnitude of how important this game was. But to Matt LaFleur's defense, he's tried to do that all week. He told guys, I'm doing one of your things with he said, listen, we're in playoff mode. I want the guys to start fast. And normally they do. In a majority of the games, they come out fast, they get up, and then it kind of goes up and down from there. But it really started when LaFleur was trying to set the mental frame of the team so it wouldn't be a letdown, or wouldn't you take them lightly playing a third-string rookie quarterback. Yeah. But I also know this, though. You played Daniel Jones, rookie, Dwayne Haskins, rookie, Mitchell Trubisky, and then Kirk Cousins, and David Blau. You didn't play 5 quarterbacks that was, JV worthy at best. Yeah. That's not going to happen in the playoffs.
No.
It's just not.
So the Packers can play, once the wild card round is decided, they'll either play New Orleans and Drew Brees,
Hall of Famer,
Seattle and Russell Wilson,
another Hall of Famer,
and the other possibility is Philadelphia and Carson Wentz. Yes. And so we're talking about 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks and another guy who was on the sideline for a Super Bowl and would have been the Super Bowl, might have been the Super Bowl quarterback if he weren't hurt. It gets serious in the playoffs.
Yes.
It gets really serious.
And that's when you have to, as a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers has to elevate his game.
Yeah.
We normally wouldn't even say that. But if you look at, it's 2 things that number 12, when he has kids and he sit them down, his grandkids, he's like 74 years old, he's sitting back, he said, children and grandchildren, there's 2 things I can tell you I did. I never threw interceptions, which he did. And I'm the most accurate quarterback to ever play the game, which he wasn't against Detroit. Those are things that people make Packer fans say, well, this is a little different. Because the deep throws is what you saw with McCarthy a lot, which I enjoyed, by the way. And I think that's the reason why Jordy Nelson and Greg Jennings and all these guys always put up big numbers. But with Matt LaFleur's offense, he's basically saying we can get to the deep passes, but we'll do it through the run game and the ball handling, which I thought Aaron Rodgers' ball handling, this year was the best of his career. will create the deep ball by getting rid of those safeties and having come up to defend Aaron Jones. But it just seemed like at one point, I think it was like 2 of 11, and most of these were deep passes.
But teams are saying, to me it seems like teams are saying, we're going to play our safeties back, and you're going to keep taking shots deep, and we're going to keep having it played. We're going to play you at the sticks, at the first downs, and good luck with your wide receivers, good luck getting it past us. I mean, Minnesota did the same thing, and the only reason they won that game was because Aaron Jones got hot, running the ball. They got smart. I thought they were getting smart in the third quarter. When they came out with the 95-yard drive, they start dinking and dunking, 7, 6, 7, right in front of the sticks.
Aaron was like 6 of 6 at one point.
Yeah, and then they come back the next series and they throw it deep 3 times. And it was mind-boggling to me. But let's talk about Rodgers and the accuracy. That was startling to see him miss some of the throws he did.
Now, what people are going to say, though, Tom, they're going to say that he's not playing with great talent. They're going to say that. They just are. They're going to say he's not playing with great talent, and the guys around him he just has one receiver, and, poor Aaron Rodgers. That's what people are going to say. But, again, the 2 things that he's the best in the league at, overall, was accuracy and not throwing interceptions. And it just seems like Patricia, that's how you say his name? It just seems like he wants to do things a certain way with Aaron as of late, the way he's been playing it. And something you talked about off camera, how he defended the Rams. In the
Matt Patricia, the head coach of the Lions. Yes.
Yeah, that kind of offense.
Former defensive coordinator of the New England Patriots. Very smart guy. Comes up with some great defensive game plan.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. There was 3 passes that Aaron threw that was pure. I mean, the one he threw to Devontae Adams, a corner out, that was amazing.
That was nice.
And the Jimmy Graham down the middle, Jimmy Graham
hit
him right in and the one with the Alan Lazard, the touchdown, he threw it up and let Alan Lazard go up and use his catch radius to go get it. Give him an opportunity. Early in the game, he missed him in a post route. So, and then, the Tyler Irvin and the Aaron Jones, it was a few times Aaron Jones could have maybe 100 yards receiving.
Yeah.
But he missed him. And I don't know if they can even explain that. It just kind of happens for the most part. But people are going to say that he's not playing with great talent.
Well, but are they going to say that he's losing it too? There's a whole lot of people who wonder why he's missing, not playing really efficient football. He's got his passer rating over the last 4 games is 76. And that's not good.
Well, it's not used to what we're seeing.
No, we're not.
Well, I think that the 62% accuracy, and I don't even know what the QBR is, but when you see the QBR down in the 20s, it gets concerning. And it is a new offense, but by now, a Hall of Fame quarterback, you just got to win games, and just try to put your guys in position to make plays. Like the Scantling play across the middle, he's by himself, but he has to turn to get it. That could be chemistry. That can be a lot of things. But Scantling is
I don't know.
Scantling's kind of a head scratcher how they want to use him.
He is. I don't want to make excuses, though.
I understand.
I understand that he could have caught that ball, but even if he catches it, and we'll show it in the X's and O's, he's not going to get the first down. He might. If he catches it, they might have a shot at a field goal. They probably do have a shot at a field goal. So he needed to catch it. But on the other hand, if it's thrown in front of him where it should be, he's got a chance at a first down and then maybe even a touchdown, the way we looked at it. So, you can look at that both ways. I don't know how to explain it. And I think the most important thing for them is that they figure out a way to put it behind them, or at least Rodgers does, because they got to figure out how to get some rhythm on offense.
Yeah, I think that's what veterans do. When you have games that you're not so proud of, at the end of the day, you're 13-3. You do forget about it pretty quickly, but you also have to ignore, the the negative stuff that you read on social media or even seeing in interviews, but don't ignore your coaches. And I think that's what made me a better player, because it was a couple of routes. It was hard for me to defend at the top of the route with Shannon Sharp and Jay Novacek. When they come up at the top of the route, they would give me a little wiggle and go inside. And Bob Valicente, he was my secondary coach. He sat me down because he puts in 100 hours a week. I don't. And he kind of went over it. Now, as a player, you think, I know everything. But I didn't. And he showed me how to anticipate that and how to defend it. And it took my game to another level. It wasn't a route I thought I could cover, but he gave me the tools to do that. I don't know if the quarterback's coach or the coordinator can give Aaron any tools, because he has all the tools, everything, but the fine-tuning of where your feet are. You're going through your progression. I mean, the trajectory of the ball, where you want to put the ball based on what receiver it is, and sticking with the play, stuff like that. They got to communicate that to him in a way that is not being condescending or weird or mean, but you got to always accept the coaching to make your fundamentals make it work for everybody, not just Devontae Adams.
Right. I actually asked the question of LaFleur and Rodgers, when a guy's missing throws like that, at halftime, do you go and give him a little tip on, your footwork? This is what's happening. Your footwork's off. You're throwing off your back foot. You're not following through. You're not. No, they just raise their hand. No, nothing really we talked about at halftime or anything. So, I understand.
Assuming he knows that.
Yeah, you understand, but you also need a guy on the sideline. I can't imagine that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Mike Holmgren ever came into a locker room and said, Brett, stop throwing off your back foot.
He said that on camera. He said none of that funny stuff.
Well, yeah. but he was young at that time. Yeah, but no more rocket balls.
He would coach him. He would coach him, to the utmost. All of us. Even Reggie. Coaching is very important. Coaching is something that not a lot of people can do. Because you're working with grown men that sometimes, hey, I know way more than you. What are you talking about? Because I've been there. But the time that I opened up and say, this guy sees a lot of stuff I don't see. Let's work. It's a partnership. Let's make each other better. I became a better player. But I can understand it. But at the same time, you look at the numbers, and the analytic department, they'll tell you that Devontae needed like 3 yards to get 1,000.
Yeah.
This guy, Aaron Jones, needed another touchdown. They won't go over to Aaron Rodgers and say, hey, man, you missed your last 6 passes.
Yeah.
They won't say that.
Right.
That's for your coaches to say. Your coaches to be honest with you and say, this is the reason why you're missing with these particular guys.
Yeah. So, I think what we will judge this on ultimately will be how he plays in the playoffs. So are they honest with themselves, and do they correct whatever it was that was causing him to miss, whatever it was that was causing the bad timing that he referred to on some of the plays, and can they correct that for the playoffs? Can they come up with a game plan that gets Rodgers to play his best football? To me, that's the ultimate of what a coach does.
That's what the playoffs are all about. It's about quarterback play. That's it. How good is your quarterback? That's the reason why Colin Kaepernick was winning for a long time when you go into San Francisco. And Russell Wilson and these guys and Drew Brees.
Tom Brady.
Even Brady, because I bet you they wish they had won ugly, but they lost to Miami. They could have had a second-round bye. But you can put up all these numbers you want in a regular season. You can miss all you want. You cannot do it in the playoffs, because that's when premium quarterbacks separate themselves. Hall of Famers or great players. You always say, hey, I remember that playoff game when a guy put up 450 and 4 touchdowns. He would not let his team lose. That's the kind of stuff that you have to, and you earn a right to have a bye week, to sit back, and he knows these defenses. So it's about quarterback play. And it'll be the same thing with a quarterback that come into Lambeau, as we talked about, be a quarterback who's been there before.
I think one of the things that they can hang their hat on about coming off a lousy performance is that 1 week has never defined the next week for the Packers.
Right, that's true.
It's like they might play great 1 week, the next week they might stink. The next week they stink, the next week they might come back and look great. You just don't know what you're going to get with them week to week.
And
you really don't.
And they've been winning, though. That's the good thing about it. It's so refreshing to win. Because if this has been in the past few years, they would have lost maybe 5 of these games. They won them all.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur deserves credit for that.
He really does. I mean, because remember, last year from now, Black Monday, you was a part of it, looking for a coach. And now you find the guy, and he goes 13-3. That's unprecedented. Mm-hmm. So I just hope that the chemistry with LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers is getting closer, not just on when something good happens, but when something bad happens.
Yeah.
Stay together, because regardless of what anybody says, it's up to the guy in the helmet to determine the outcome.
Right.
So you can't be so thin-skinned that you can't accept any kind of criticism from anybody.
Right. So as we close, which of the three teams? So Minnesota plays at New Orleans, and Seattle plays at Philadelphia. Which of those three? They cannot. The only team the Packers can't play is Minnesota
right,
because of the seedings. Which of those three teams scares you the most? New Orleans, Seattle, or Philadelphia?
Well, I would say the Saints. I mean, because they feel like they're destined, because they were taken away from them or going into the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
But it really was their own fault. They was in the red zone 4 times, and they messed up a lot. They did a lot on their own, but that bad call is what they hang their hat on. Drew Brees is something that he's a machine. He has a not human of a player, Michael Thomas. Mm-hmm. And why nobody can cover that guy. The guy's just special. Jared Cook has come on strong.
Yeah.
They got the Ted Ginn's, just deep threats. They got grown men like Cameron Jordan, up front. But their defense, you can throw it on the field on them too. They just seem like a team that's laser focused on getting to the Super Bowl. So that'll be a good test. If you beat them, I think you have a hard enough time beating the Saints than San Francisco. I think you could beat San Francisco.
Really?
I really do.
Wow.
Because I really think you could beat
San Francisco is the top team. In my opinion, they're the top team.
Oh, yeah, they've earned the right to be number one.
Yeah.
But I think I'm looking forward to an NFC Championship game of the Packers beating San Francisco to go to the Super Bowl.
I'd like to see them go out there and play San Francisco, but I will tell you that there is no team better prepared to win the Super Bowl than San Francisco after playing at Baltimore, losing by a field goal, playing at New Orleans and winning a shootout, losing to Seattle by a field goal in overtime, and then beating Seattle, in just a miracle fashion. So, I mean, that is a team that is prepared. They have gone through everything. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But, again, I want to see that rematch. I think Aaron looks forward to it. I think he would just play flawless in that game. And Jimmy Garoppolo will be his big time on the national stage. Hopefully he'll falter.
It would be interesting to see that game.
That's why they play the games.
But first, we'll have to see the divisional round, see if they can get past that. And that's a week from Sunday. Yeah. And so we will have another version of 5 Questions next week. And please tune in to X's and O's, because we're going to take a look at a whole bunch of one play from the Detroit game, and then a whole bunch of plays from Aaron Rodgers in the Detroit game. So we will see you next week.
And thank you to Potawatomi Hotel and Casino for sponsoring this. Well, actually, they're sponsoring me. You're just along for the ride.
I know. I'm always along for the ride.
No, that's not true, I think. But all year, they've been great. We want to thank them. They've been awesome. Sponsoring.
I like to donate my money to them occasionally.
I got mine back.
You got yours back, but
thank you to Potawatomi.
Yeah, we'll see you.